So it's always hard to pick my favorite muscle groups to work because as a physical therapist, I'm so kind of excited about exercising different muscle groups because I understand the anatomy of each and I want you to know good moves, but also have a better understanding of how your body functions. So you get the most out of, what you should be doing and also what you like to do and what is best for your own body because we're all very individual. So today we're going to work legs, and leg muscles are not just shapely, they power us wherever we go. So whether you're walking, running, getting up from a chair, it's a very functional muscle group to work, and they're the biggest muscles in the body. So when you work them, you're burning the most calories. So there's a kind of a payoff there for benefiting from it from a functional standpoint and improving the way you look and the way your pants feel, because more toned muscles takes up less space. So that's an extra bonus too that a lot of people look for. But the idea is that you're keeping your body healthy. So we're going to get right to it. And I like to work multiple muscle groups at one time because these are short challenges and you want to make sure you clear space. I'm specifically doing this in my house, so you won't use that as an excuse that you can't do it. I like to warm up the muscles by just doing straight up squats. And when you do a squat, your feet are about hip width apart, and we're going to do about 15 of these, and you can kind of keep them shallow. So this is earlier in the day. You're just kind of staying nice and light. Chest is up. You should be looking at me, and you are just gently bending the knees and then kind of sitting back like you're in a chair. All right, so if you come forward and you kind of do something like that, see the difference between my knees coming forward and my hips going back. So a good squat gets your backside, and you really want to make sure you're protecting your knees, okay? So when you do higher reps at a shallow level, this is about 15-ish, so you're going to just hold it on the low end. Stay there for a minute, take a nice deep breath, and then come up and stand up. All right, so you can shake it out a little bit. Your muscles are ready to go. You don't want to exercise cold muscle groups, even though this is not plyometrics or jumping. Okay, so we're going to work on the outside of the hips. We just worked quads, hamstrings, glutes. This is still working those muscle groups, but you're going to get more of the side of the hip, which is actually a core muscle as well. We're going to do a curtsy lunge, and you're going to do 10 on each side. You're going to do a complete set of 10 on one side, rest, and then a complete set of 10 on the other side. So when you do this, again, just to demonstrate, you're going to keep your hips to me. You're going to have a tendency, if you're tight here, to rotate, that if there was a line from your belly button, it would actually turn to a 45-degree angle. Don't do that if you're really looking to exercise this side of your hip. So you want to work on that straight up, straightforward hip position, and then you're going to work that side of your hip where a lot of problems happen, bursitis and whatnot, but that's an icky feeling and goop that you just don't want. All right, so again, you're sitting back, remember, just like a regular squat. That's why we did that first. We're going to do 10, okay? So you push off from this leg. 1, 2. Now, the deeper you go, the more you're going to feel it in your legs, okay? You're coming all the way up as you tap the toe. And again, this is a variation from if you wanted to do a knee lift, you could. All right, but I would just do that on the second set. Right now, we're just focusing on getting this muscle really good. And then you're going to just do one more. And I want you to pulse it down, okay? So this is 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push up and step. So when you're done with this, you should feel a little bit of heat right on the side of your hip if you did this correctly. Take a nice deep breath. So you have enough power to do just as much work on the other side. So let's get right to it because we're going to do minimum rest between each exercise, okay? So we're going to do 10 sets or 10 reps. 10 sets, you guys would kill me. And you want to go about this pace, all right? If you need to go slower, just get the form down until you know what you're doing. Go ahead and do that. You can go a little bit faster, but you're working the muscle. So when you use speed, you're generally going to use momentum, so you won't get as much out of it, okay? So this is 9, I believe, and 10. So again, pause and come up. Remember your belly button. You should be looking directly at me, feeling the side of the hip here. Let's pulse for 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and up. Now, again, doing one side than the other, it gives you a better idea of where you might be tighter, where you might be weaker. Generally have one stronger side over the other side. So take note of that. Now, when you're doing this, you should feel, these are big muscle groups, you should feel a little bit breathless. If you feel nothing, you need to go deeper. All right, so keep that in mind. So that is the side of the hip there. So it's kind of a squat and a side hip exercise, which is awesome. Awesome. All right, so now we're going to go a little bit deeper, and we actually are going to do a hip lift. If you don't have good balance, you would use a chair. In some of the videos I've done, use a kid, use an uncle, use a dog. So the idea is that you're going to stabilize on one leg. So remember what we just did. We were working on the side. You want to have your shoulder, hip, and ankle in line. So get that hip up, tighten the leg, and you're actually going to do the hip lift on the other side. Okay, so you're going to go lift. My toe is pointing straight to you. So I'm going to back up. I'm going to stop talking, and you're going to focus on your form. So don't move your shoulders. You got 2 glasses of water here. You're going to lift up, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we're going to do the same thing. 9, 10. Now come up and pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Now notice when you're doing this, you should not be tilting on this hip. This is not a seesaw. This is, everything is staying put here, and you're just moving the leg to isolate that muscle group there. Now, this side might be a little bit tired because it just held up your body weight on that side, but that's why these exercises are so great, okay? So when you lift up, you shouldn't feel like your hip sticks out. If you want to do this in front of a mirror, if you can, that's great. Get your form cues, tighten the leg, chest is up, belly button to the spine, and you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, use something if you need to. 8 for balance. 9, 10. Now come up. We're going to do that pulse. You can feel that. Don't let it drop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and drop. So you should start to feel like there's some good things happening. And what a good thing too, they call this give it a little bit of attitude, is you can just kind of now exaggerate that hip coming out and stretch that out. So you should feel, and even if you lean forward a little bit, you want to stretch that iliotibial band, stretch that tensor fascia lata, relieve that pressure on that joint. So go ahead and take the time to do that, because we're going to do one more exercise. And it's going to be a lunge with a hip lift. Okay, so we really want to get all areas of the legs. And when you're doing a balance component, it recruits more of your core. So that's another reason why I'm having you do this. Working on your balance is another goal that I have for you. It's only going to make you stronger in every way functioning. Okay, carrying your child and your grocery bags and all these other things that you got going on. The better you are in those situations when you're training, the better it's just going to carry over to something like that. All right, so we're going to do a lunge and then a knee lift. Okay, so if you don't have balance for that, you could either use something else, or you're going to do the lunge and then tap the feet together instead of doing the knee lift. Okay, so what you're going to do now is you're going to back and lift.